Good day and welcome to our news update. Central Provincial Police Commander Acting Superintendent Joseph Saleh has condemned the false information circulating on social media about the killing of 4 men at Vanapa in Central Province. He said Central Police were quick to rescue passengers traveling on a PMV bus that was held up at a roadblock at Vanapa Bridge yesterday. According to a police report, a group of Goilalas blocked the road to steal from the traveling public. The PMV bus carrying cargo and passengers was stoned, causing the driver to lose control, veering off the road. PPC Saleh said the suspects damaged the windows, robbed the passengers, and then left the scene. A police officer who was traveling in the area communicated with other units and all managed to keep the situation under control. The PPC added that all the passengers are safe despite losing valuables. The Divisional Commander of NCD Central Assistant Commissioner of Police Benjamin Turi announced the appointment of Superintendent Warwick Simatab as the new Metropolitan Superintendent for the NCD Police Command. Turi stated that Simatab brings with him a wealth of operational and administrative experience, having started his career in 1992 in public safety and criminal investigations within NCD. In 2020, he was appointed as the Director of Human Resource Management, where he oversaw the development, deployment, and welfare of police personnel nationwide. At the time of his appointment, Superintendent Simatab was serving as the Superintendent of Administration at the police headquarters. Simatab replaces Silva Sika, who has been appointed as ACP training. A major milestone in education is being celebrated in Western Province, where hundreds of students are rewriting their futures through second chance learning.
Over 840 students in Western Province have successfully completed or advanced through the Flexible Open Distance Education Program, or FODE, a landmark initiative funded by the PNG Sustainable Development Program and delivered by the Kokoda Track Foundation. It's a historic milestone for the Fly River region, one of the most remote and under-resourced areas in the country. The program offers renewed hope for those who missed out on formal education, especially in rural communities. Among the proud graduates is Marilyn Duwaba, a single mother of 3 and primary school teacher from Kionga. After receiving a low GPA in grade 12 more than 2 decades ago, Marilyn embraced the flexible opportunity to upgrade her results. This year, she not only achieved her goal, but was named Dux of her class. Marilyn's story is one of hundreds that show the life-changing power of second chance education. Officials from PNG SDP, KTF, and the Western Provincial Education Division, including Education Advisor Charlie Buya and KTF CEO Dr. Genevieve Nelson, witnessed the celebrations. Backed by the PNG SDP's Goodwilla Community Strategy 2025 to 2030, the FODE initiative is equipping students with skills to pursue further education or employment. For many like Marilyn, it's not just a second chance, it's a new beginning. Carol Kidu Jr., TVWAN News.
The United States government, through the Department of Defense and U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, delivered new dress uniforms to the Papua New Guinea Defense Force. The dress uniforms, worth approximately 20 million kina, come at the request of the PNGDF, who were highly involved in their design. Delivered ahead of PNG's 50th independence anniversary in September, the uniforms will enhance PNGDF's ceremonial presence at national and global events. They will be worn during state functions, ceremonies, and high-profile events and will reflect the strength and professionalism of the PNGDF to your nation, the region, and the world. Rear Admiral Philip Polawara, commander of the PNGDF, acknowledged the uniform's role in boosting morale, reinforcing discipline, and enhancing public trust. Across the PNGDF, the donation includes 15,000 complete uniforms, with 3 uniforms per service a member. Once riddled with self-doubt, Bridget Kasman is now stepping into the spotlight, not as a model, but as a rising leader in PNG's fashion scene. The young professional who once nearly left the industry behind is now the executive assistant to PNG Fashion Week Managing Director Phil Makelagai. Her next stop, Fiji Fashion Week. Bridget will be supporting PNG Fashion Week's brand ambassador Insenia Mins and fashion icon Florence Jaukea Kamel during the high-profile event. Mentored by Kelagai, Bridget has embraced leadership, strengthened her public speaking, and mastered pressure situations. Her story reflects not only personal transformation, but also the evolving face of PNG fashion, where leadership behind the scenes matters as much as the runway. Turning overseas, a man has died in police custody after being restrained by 2 officers in Alice Springs. Major crime investigators are traveling to the town to investigate the death of the 24-year-old Aboriginal man. According to police, the man became unconscious while being restrained by plainclothes officers following a confrontation with private security guards. The man stopped breathing and CPR was started. He was declared dead on arrival at Alice Springs Hospital.
1:10 p.m. this afternoon, there was a report of an incident that occurred in the Coles supermarket in Alice Springs. The incident involved a person who was placing items down the front of their clothing who was confronted by security guards. There was an altercation that occurred as a consequence of that confrontation. One of the security guards was assaulted, and there were 2 police officers who were in plain clothes at the time in the supermarket who rendered assistance to the security guards. The male behaved rather aggressively and was placed onto the ground by those police officers. He was later identified as losing consciousness. The police were assisted by other general duties police who arrived. St John's ambulance also arrived at the location, and the male was taken to the Alice Springs Hospital. The male has been identified, we believe, to be a 24-year-old Aboriginal male from Alice Springs. Whilst at the Alice Springs Hospital, he underwent critical care, but unfortunately succumbed and passed away at 2:20 p.m. this afternoon. As a consequence of that notification that this person had passed away, the Northern Territory Police protocol is to identify this matter as a death in custody. As a consequence, a senior commissioned officer is being placed in charge of this investigation. We have had detectives involved in the preliminary investigative process, and major crime investigators are flying to Alice Springs this afternoon to assist with the evidence collection in relation to this matter. This matter will be investigated and reported on behalf of the coroner, and the Northern Territory pathologist is travelling to Alice Springs tomorrow and will conduct an autopsy in relation to the matter.
Survivors of the stolen generations in Western Australia will be compensated through a state government redress scheme. The move leaves Queensland as the only jurisdiction in the country without such a scheme.
The Premier Roger Cook was met with a round of applause when he walked out of the doors of Parliament to make today's announcement. It's a redress scheme with a payment of $85,000 for the living members of the stolen generation here in Western Australia. Now, the Premier Roger Cook said it's in recognition of the harm caused by removing First Nations people from their families and their communities. The payment will be provided to First Nations people who were removed prior to the 1st of July 1972. Now, up until today, WA and Queensland were the only two jurisdictions in the country that didn't have a redress scheme provided to members of the stolen generation. Now, it wasn't without its criticism. There were people interrupting the press conference today saying that $85,000 is not the highest payment in the country, but WA is the wealthiest state. And it was a missed opportunity for the government to really set an example about what reconciliation could look like. Here's some of what the Premier had to say.
Money does not fix things. And ultimately, healing is a long journey, but it's one that we must take together. And today we're signalling my government's intention to walk with Yokai, to walk with the Kimberley Stolen Generations mob, to walk with other Stolen Generations groups on this journey of healing, truth-telling and ultimately reconciliation.
Now, the government expects the payment will reach about roughly 2,500 people. It's not available to the families of people who have passed away who are a part of the stolen generation. Now, during the press conference, we heard from a number living members of the stolen generation. Here is some of what they had to share today.
Our people will be happy with that because they're all growing old now and they need to have something to keep them going and give them something to live.
The scheme opens later this year and payments are expected to be rolled out by the end of the year.
In sports, PNG Hunters bench forward Mani Sakai is eagerly anticipating his chance to solidify a starting position under coach Paul Ayton for the upcoming QRL Host Plus Cup Round 11 matchup against Northern Pride at the Santos National Football Stadium.
Since making his debut in Round 2 of 2024, Mani Sakai has faced stiff competition for spots within the talented squad, limiting his opportunities to showcase his abilities. However, he has remained consistent, making a significant impact off the bench with his strong work ethic. His efforts have earned him a starting point, reflecting his growth and contribution to the team.
Training, I'm right. Last week, I played Dublin. Long rest. Now, first party, training. Look for it. Tomorrow, was same. Give best for the training plan. Long game. Yeah, side load defense. I won't the defense. Until Mr. Ono says, I won't the defense. Long game.
To date, Kai has played 9 games, with 3 appearances last year and 6 this year, scoring 1 try. Following a tough loss to the Townsville Blackhawks last week, the Hunters have regrouped and are now focused on preparing for the crucial clash against the Pride. Kai mentioned that since the beginning of the season, Coach Ayton has emphasized the importance of continuing to improve his defensive skills and running game, which has helped him secure a place in the team. He recognizes the vital role he plays as a bench player, contributing fresh energy and maintaining intensity when the starting forwards are substituted. Kai reflects on his journey in rugby league, crediting the influence of local senior players in Simbu as his role models.
Pick up him, council around. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm still a bench now. Watch him all first ball for it when you go to the play and play more lift game of them time to maintain himself. Like what we did on your game when you go on him like bench once going to them that time having start page flow game. Start the bench coming to.
Regardless of his position in the lineup this Sunday, he is determined to give his all and help his team deliver a strong performance in front of the home crowd. With his commitment and readiness, Kai is poised to make a significant impact once again. Carol Kidu Jr., TV1 Sports.
And that ends the news update. More to come at 6. Bye now.